Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the closing argument. This is the close of the week. TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. My
TGIF.
yes, Maya is ready to go home and go party.
No, no. I'm on up to tomorrow.
You on tomorrow also?
Yes, 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 yes. I'm here up to tomorrow. My schedule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's always good to have you on my end. There's a lot going on in the country. Let me read what I'm looking at here, and then you're going to read to me or to us some of the things that are happening on the ground. We saw the return of the president. We listened to a few of his interviews. We are looking at the July 17th protests. We are looking at other topics, but one that we need to talk about real quick that we need to introduce is on the front page of Front Page Africa by Rodney C.A., July 11, 2025. It says, what's in the details of the purported U.S. plan to deport asylum seekers? People are asking, was this particular visit to the United States was a bait and switch? The United States called us, told everybody that they were coming to talk about business and trade, and it actually turned out to be we are going to have our deportees. We need you to take these people. And you know, when the United States say we are asking you, they are telling you what to do. And then yesterday, there was something trending that we didn't talk about, we'll talk about today. Ex-President Salif says Liberia is still far from reconciliation despite national healing initiatives. And finally, here on our side, GAC audit uncovers mismanagement and misappropriation in the African Development Bank funded agriculture ministry project. Those are the three major ones we are going to be discussing. And then we got additional headlines from the Republic of Liberia. Myean, go ahead and tell us what your headlines are.
Okay, so Mr. Gamer, I'd like to say thanks and thanks to all of our listeners, our viewers, and our followers who've been following the closing argument already on. So I'd just like to read through some of our headlines we have here where we're going to discuss. Like I was on the radio, consulting our Liberians and telling them this is Liberia. We should not fight for politicians. Rather, we should fight for our countries. And this is Liberia. We cannot be deported as Liberian. We can go to other country as foreigner and due to some other reason you can be deported. But if you are
Okay, it looks like the weather is interfering with our transmission there. Myean is breaking in. We are hoping that his signal it will improve. But do us a favor, share this show. Tell your friends and family that the closing argument is here for the closing argument for this week on Friday. We got some major topics we're going to be discussing. We need you to take part in these discussions. If you are in the country or outside of the country within our voice and you are tuning in, please let us know where you are tuning in from. And I'm seeing Usman and Sue. Hello, guys. I'm watching from Oro, Town. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Do us a favor, share this show. Fix Electronics, a pioneer, a legend, the one and only Mr. Jerome gave me. Listen, man, I'm going to send you a sticker. Joseph Sadie, good evening. Joseph, where you calling from? Where you tuning in from? Let us know. Share the show. We are going to be talking about some serious issues. We'll give you time to call in today and make your contribution. Let's hear from you. We don't want to be lecturing you. We don't want to be basically a talking head, but we'd like to actually hear you say so. Sadie, thank you very much. You're tuning in from Ghana. Our Ghanaian friends, thank you very much for tuning in. I was in Liberia in February, stop over in Ghana. Beautiful country. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you guys someday. But we are in flight. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the closing argument. Lots going on. The president returned to the country today, and upon arrival, he had a press conference. And in that press conference, it looks like he was caught off guard when a young man asked, "Why did you ask for a survey when you promised or you read to us that you had a survey done already by the Chinese and they were comprehensive?" He took that back. He says, the survey was done by the Chinese in 2 counties. It looks like the president was caught off guard. He didn't name which those 2 counties were. Which 2 counties, Mr. President? But then we want to go back to the president's own statement, his own report to the state of the country address, what he said, and we're going to read it verbatim. What the president said about the survey that was done by the Chinese. We are going to read it verbatim to see maybe somebody needed to remind the president about what he said in his State of the Nation address. We are going to be discussing the upcoming protests, July 17th. Today is the 11th. 6 days from today, the people of Liberia will be coming out to inform the nation, to inform the world that things are not all glossy as the government seems to be purporting. Situation in Liberia is dire, according to what some are saying, if you are on the ground. So all what these guys are saying, Torgbean was here, he says, listen, if your life is going on good, if everything is okay with you, just stay home. If you have issues with the police, come out. If you have problem with the economy, come out. If you have issue with the security system in the country, come out. If you have been brutally beaten by the police, come out. If you have been illegally terminated or suspended, come out. If the economy is treating you bad, come out. If your children are in school and you are paying your tuition and you get your 3 square meals a day, stay home. If everything is okay in your family, everything is going on in your home, and your life has improved, stay home. In fact, I will encourage the government, if you're living in Liberia and your life has improved and things are going very well for you and your families and your neighbors, then you also have the right to stage or protest praising the government. Bring Liberians who are doing very well. If you have no issue with the infrastructure development, utilities, electricity, employment, If you have no problem, if your children are in school and you are paying your tuition on time, and you're doing all of those things, you also have the right to come out and praise the government. But according to the government-owned resources and the government-owned reporting sources, that we have about a 90% unemployment rate. You do not need to be a rocket scientist to know that if you are in that 90%, then on the 17th of July, you need to come out and express yourself peacefully. Somebody said for every yes in Liberia, there will be 10 no's. 10 no's. For every one person that has a job, there will be 10 that will say they are unemployed. And in that one, they may not even be employed, they may be underemployed. Underemployed means if you are going to work every day, but you are not on the government payroll and they're giving you per diem or they're giving you a little thing to go to work, you are in that 1%. You are in that 1%. If you are a volunteer teacher who have been on this list forever, and you cannot be brought on fully as a full-time teacher and receiving pay and benefits, you don't need to be sitting home. I was shocked. A few days ago, I was having uh, a conversation with a dear friend of mine, former gender minister, and she said that government employees appointed by the president are not entitled to benefits. Never heard of that in my life, but I was getting it from an inside source, someone who worked in the government. Once you are appointed by the government, you are not a civil servant, you are not entitled to benefits. So you see where this corruption, the source of our corruption, if you were appointed by the president as minister, deputy minister, whatever it is, as long as you are part of the executive, you have no benefits. If this is true, if this is not true, if you were appointed by the government and you are getting benefits like retirement, 401k, health, if you got all of those things going, call me and let us know. But this could be one of the reasons that when these people get appointed, they try to do as much and amass as much as they can because while they are on for the next 6 or 12 years, they will have no benefits, no health insurance, no retirement per se. But let me go back to Myean before the weather back there messed with our signal and I can't see him anymore. Myean, talk to us what's going on in the country from your end. Let's discuss. Can you hear me? Mr. Myean, can you?
Okay, so Mr. Gaiman, thank you ever so much again. Like I was in flight when
Mhm.
are you getting me?
Yes, go
Are you
ahead.
hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, okay. So I was in flight when we had some technical problem. That's why we went off. But happy we are back. So let me run through as we stay with our other folks to join us on the closing argument tonight. So for keep following, keep sharing this live, whatever you're following us live from, keep sharing. So today we saw the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boaka, returns back home following a week-long working visit to the United States of America, where we saw the invitation sent to the president by the U.S. President Donald Trump. And today also we saw the citizen movement for change. Stand-up bearer Musa Hassan Berete, representative of Nima County District number 7. He posted a plan for a bridge in Bapolu County, Bopolu, where the citizen movement was changed when they were about to carry on that bridge project to do a groundbreaking ceremony. Where later, when they saw the government have already sent some members, like from the public work or from the GSA, to be able to work there. So it was surprising to the media where everyone were expecting the groundbreaking ceremony, but surprisingly for us to see honorability breaking the news from Real TV, Truth FM, breaking the news that the government have already sent some supplies so that they can be able to start that work, which of course we did not hear anything from the government or any angle about that bridge, but only to see Mr. Ability to post the plan and then to post the worth of the bridge project. And then on today, we saw the government carry on that project, which the Citizen Movement for Change welcome the government action, and they encourage them to carry on the project because it is also a good project for the country where everyone is going to benefit, most especially the people from Bapolu County, where they are going to be a beneficiary of that project. So he acknowledged them. And then also we saw in our headline today, United Party partisan in Sando attempting massive protest over the report by Senator Chie and other from the Unity Party and other sedition who were appointed. With that, we saw it in the media today spark our attention where some Liberian made their own point of view on it. And also today on the scene July 17 protest, we saw that the Liberia National Police has some back and forth with most especially the IG Garguah has some back and forth with the chairman for STEM, Moba Molu, where he made a statement, and then the IG went and debunked that statement on their podcast. And then we saw today, surprisingly, early this morning, where the Ministry of Justice acknowledged and they approved the July 17 peaceful protest and encourage security meeting with organizations to see how best they can be able to carry on this protest peacefully, because it is now time that Liberians, whatever you are suffering from, whatever you think the government is not doing for you, that you think they can be able to come together to make this country a successful one, because it's Liberia. We should not be fighting for politicians, or we should not be fighting for power and then leaving the country and not going anywhere. We are not going forward, but rather fighting for us to get into power and then lie to the people what we promise them. We cannot see anything. So I think we can go from there. Also today we saw the former foreign minister and the former GSA boss and others were at the court today for question. And then we saw them, they did not stay long there. Their lawyer was also there. Former Solicitor General was also there. And other lawyers, even Councillor Pearl Bamboo was also there representing our client. And we saw some of them, they were in huge number, were there at the court today to the criminal court C. And then these are things that have been going on, Mr. Gamer. As we go on, we'll bring you some activities from Liberia.
So why were the former officials, why were they at criminal court C
We'll
for?
bring you some Liberia.
So why were the former officials, why were they at criminal court C? So, what? It looks like we're getting some delay there. I wanted to know why were these former officials
His
at the
former
criminal?
officials.
We are getting some feedback.
Yes. We got somebody watching Mr. Jabatet for his CMC corner in point four, Junction Monrovia. Beautiful. We have Jolino, following closely from Festival Delhi, AU. Thank you very much for tuning in. Looks like the communication in Liberia, I guess, for the rainy season is kind of on and off. We are having problem with Truth FM 96.1. And our host down there is Myean. Myean, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. So we are facing some technical problem because the technician is giving us a signal. So within the next 5 to 10 minutes, we would like to join you later because we're having some technical issues. So just keep on going on, and then I will join you in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, real quick before you go, why were these government officials at the criminal court C? Why?
So is it about the same rights issue where the Sweden government gave Liberia, they donated this rights issue. Based on the information from the former foreign minister, where I did a long article on it, and then I did a publication where Liberians gave their own view on it. This same rights issue that happened according to the former foreign minister, D. Maswa Kemea, Ambassador D. Maswa Kemea. He said that this rest were given to the Liberian people, and then it was turned over to the GSA, which but then it was the
Okay, we are having some issues. Morris Blama, my homeboy, he's watching from our home city, Buchanan City, Grand Bassa County. Welcome, Mr. Blama, for tuning in. We are having issues with our signal in Monrovia, the rainy season as it is. We're having problem transmitting through FM 96.1. Well, we are having problem in the studio, but you are still on our voice through the 96.1 Truth FM. You can let us know through the system, see if you are hearing us. But Myean is having some serious issue. So we are going to begin to discuss some of the topics on the ground. And we are going to blend that with our headlines from the different newspapers around the country. He talked about the president's return to Liberia today, and it was a spectacle on the ground. People were dancing. A friend of mine that is not a Liberian here was shocked to have seen President Trump's and workout photo on the shirt in Liberia. And we're going to discuss that. He was flabbergasted that the president of the Republic of Liberia, whose citizens, many of whom are in hiding, many will be deported. Their temporary statuses have been revoked or will be revoked or pending. He was very, very surprised to hear the president of the Republic of Liberia say he supports MAGA, making America great again. How is that possible? Citizens of the Republic of Liberia, many of whom are here, law abiding, they have not committed any crime, they are waiting for their documentations, and ICE is after them. maybe a month or two ago, we saw a video that was trending. ICE was in, I think, either Philadelphia, where Liberians and regular folks frequented, and they were just rounding people up. Basically, you are an immigrant, according to them or their behavior, you are guilty until proven innocent. So they were rounding people up. Same thing in Iowa, where we have a lot of Liberian refugees. And the president said he supports making America great again without reservation. I am a registered Republican, voted for this president. There are some of the policies within the MAGA that we some of us disagree with. But for the president to carte blanche support making America great again, that policy, even Trump himself is revising some parts of the policy. And for the president to say he supports MAGA, I told you guys, I'm not the only Republican who support this president. You heard it from your president, representing almost 5+ million folks. We chose him to speak on our behalf. And he says he supports making America great again. Do we have a case to make? Can we now go back to Trump and say what you are doing is wrong? Trump could really turn it around. You know, he's very quick on his feet. He will say, you got no case. Your leader, President Wagner, supports me and supports what I'm doing. You got no case. It is not hearsay. It is not they say. It is on the record. Everybody heard it. And we got a videotape. The president says Liberia supports making America great again. He returns to Liberia and he had a brief press conference. And at that news conference, someone approached him about his State of the Union address, where he said he thanked the Chinese government for what they have done for the Republic of Liberia, for doing a detailed survey, and that the ministries of land, mines, justice have analyzed and this, according to him, is the best that have happened in the past 50 years. Myean, welcome back. I know it is rough. We understand the signal issues there. We understand the difficulties when it's raining. But the difficulty if it's not raining, now with rain, it's even worse. So for the few times that you're going to be with us, I will let you talk because you could be cut off anytime. So let's start with the return of the president. If you have the video, you can play it. If you want to look for it, that's fine. But we'd like to see the entrance of the president of the Republic of Liberia at the Rabat International Airport, where I thought he was taken aback. President seemed surprised when a young man asked him, "Mr. President, you have done the survey. You made that declaration in your State of the Nation's address. And then here you are saying that America should come back."
Good afternoon, folks, wherever you are. We are live here for the airport where President Joseph Demopwaka is on his way back on the US after 5 days away from Liberia. The president is finally here. The president is finally here. So you are currently watching us live for the airport where hundreds of Liberians are here to receive the president from the US. The name is Sanvee, and I'm reporting live for the closing argument. So you'll see the number and amount of women that are here celebrating. These are all traditional women here celebrating and waiting for Liberia here today. So the president is expected to be here in the next 15 minutes. So this is our traditional method. Listen to them speaking in their vernacular. This is Liberia culture. They are currently speaking in different vernacular. But this is the easy practice. We are celebrating the president of many are concerned as to what is the president to come back home after the president paid a 5-day visit. After the president paid a 5-day visit to the US. Some are saying, what is the take home for Liberia in it? I feel maybe you are also aware that before the president left on Sunday evening, the governor of Liberia signed an agreement with SPS to use our wayway. But as for now, we don't know what is in that view. All right, that's the thing there. That's the flag bringing the president. That's the flag that's bringing the president. That's the flag there. So that's the flag.
Mr. Kemen, let's now play the interview that was done with the president so the Liberian
Yes.
people can be able to listen what the president said on today when he arrived at the Roberts International Airport.
That's correct.
So yeah, it's already in queue. So let's now play this interview.
I think we were trying to let the president know that our diplomatic policy aligned with theirs, where we think about Liberia first and to make sure that we acquaint them with what we have and the way we're going to do business. And I think it was a very positive move because it's important for them to know how we're thinking, that we're not talking about aid, we're talking about trade and investment.
Mr. President, my name is Daniel Theophilus Cole, and I report for Cool FM. We saw you in the United States when you visited President Trump. You talked about the U.S. coming over to do a survey on the natural resources. Taking you back to your State of the Nation address, you told the Liberian people that the Chinese conducted a comprehensive survey, Mr. President.
I didn't say comprehensive. The survey was done on 2 counties. We have 15 counties. While we ask the Chinese to continue, we also ask the Americans. We want to know what we have to plan for it. And so we are open. We don't have the technology. We don't know how long the Chinese will take. But our interest is to make sure that we know what we have.
Mr. President, my name is Regan Esmegi, I report for the Liberia News Agency. So, upon your visit to the US, you have been broadcast all over the world on BBC and Al Jazeera and other media outlets. So, what does it mean for our country, Liberia, and what exactly is going to bring to the table for Liberians?
My role is to sell Liberia in a positive way. How that happens depends with the rest of the world. But we want Liberia to be great, and that's what we're doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Mr. Gimen, that's the interview that was
Yes.
done
The,
on
pre-
today.
the president said, Myean, that our Liberian people, our agenda aligns with that of the United States or Trump making America great again. So here we are. We are making Liberia great again. So if our policies and our topics and our ideas line up, are we going to start deporting people who are undocumented, people who come into our country? Are we going to begin the process of rounding people up and sending them home?
So most especially, I see Liberia be a free nation where everyone comes from anywhere, and then you can be able to live in our country freely without any harm. Most especially when you are a foreigner, we as Liberian, we prioritize you than we being Liberians to be able to help each other, but rather we look at the people who are coming from other countries, taking them to be special than us, which of course we are all human. We are all from the same earth. We were made in the same way, but I don't know how why people take foreigners or people take certain people, most especially Americans, they take them to be like they are from different planet or they are from different earth. Which of course we all are the same. It's just like there are just a difference between us, which of course they are on that side and we are here, and they are bright. We have some bright people who are in Liberia, but I don't know for what exactly we as Liberian we take foreigners to be so much. It's not bad for us taking foreigner to be that kind of a people who we should pay respect to is not bad. But giving them courtesy over our own country or over our own people, I think is not necessary, because we find it all over, even in the workplaces. We see that when Liberians and a foreigner is working a place, we prioritize that foreigner over our own Liberian. We don't show that respect. We don't show that courtesy, which of course I think is not right. Like the president should say, from my own point of view, he should say we think we can be able to make Liberia better from the help and the support of America, but rather saying we think we can make America great. So I think that statement was something like we as Liberians we need to look at it thoroughly. It's not bad for us to make America great, but we came from America. We were colonized by America. America should be saying we need to make Liberia great. Now we should be saying we need to make America great. That's my point of view on that.
Okay. The young man just said what he said. We should be thinking about how we can benefit from our own resources, our own energy, instead of supporting the United States that has everything, that
Exactly.
have the budget, that have the manpower. So if we say our ideas and our policies align, that means, and the president said that he supports. The first thing he said when he was on the table was, Mr. President, I support MAGA, making America great again. He supports his policy. Sometimes I wonder who is working with this president. Are they prepping him? Are they having discussion? Does Waka know that Liberians who were on TPS, they are all about to be denied. Their status is about to be taken away. And the president says he supports the MAGA agenda. Let me welcome the Honorable Victor Nambe, the veteran progressive, who says it just as it is. He doesn't cut corners. He doesn't do anybody favors. Says it as it is, and that's why we are here on these channels, the blue apps. Mr. Nambe, the president said at the luncheon, not dinner, but at the luncheon, that he supports MAGA. And today, upon his arrival, he says our policy aligns with those of Trump's, while Liberians are in hiding from ICE. TPS gone. Your take on President Boyka being the new MAGA of Africa?
Yeah, it is good to be with you, Jerome, Dr. Peabody, and also Myean. Let me say hi to our audience as well. Thanks for joining us. Share the show, please. Also, join your voice to ours. Let's call for an audit of the legislature now. Uh, on the question, Jerome, the president, so he has, and I've always said, I think those who are handling what will do well with him, give him a little piece of note or something to help guide him. Usually he means one thing and then I think he says something else. Um, on the day of the meeting with the president in the White House, I tried to stretch a little bit what he said when he said the same thing that he does. So the Liberia does support President Trump's policy of America first. Uh, I thought he was also saying that, like us or like you, we also support Liberia first. I believe that's what he meant to say. But the way it came out wrong, especially when he began to expand it to some of the issues that you're addressing. I mean, yes, this current President Trump, he is doing anything and everything to put America first, including, taxing almost all of his allies, deporting people, some of whom really only offense is a traffic ticket or something, and some of these people who are being deported include Liberians. There are Liberians right now who are in deportation proceedings. So I wish the president would have parsed his words a little bit more carefully. I think he meant to say, and I hope this is what he meant, that we support America. Like America, we also support a Liberia first policy. But he's coming back. I hope this time we'll have a readout on what he accomplished on this trip. More often than not, there are several different reportings of the same trip. We remember when he came from China, and the Minister of Information was saying something different. The presidential spokesperson was saying something different. The president himself came out and said something entirely different, and this is because when he returns from these trips, we don't get a readout. There is no attempt to synchronize the message that's coming out to us, if there's any. So I hope this time they'll do that. Already, I listened to part of the uh, political advisor to the president, Ms. Cooper. Uh, yeah, she was really saying something completely non-substantive. Talking about Liberia has been mentioned 50 million times. Unless she's going to follow that up to concretize that into real, deliverables for Liberia. Other than that, that's not something to be reporting upon returning from a foreign trip. So hopefully, we'll get a much more refined and more pointed message on the president's trip abroad. I know he did stop over in Lomé and had conversation with his ECOWAS brother, President Yasimwe. So hopefully, they will tell us soon what it is that he did abroad and what we should look forward to.
Well, Mr. Namba, if you just listen to the clip, the president said, "My job is to sell Liberia," and I did that. It is left with the international community to do what they want. This is the president. That's what he said.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's not sufficient. That's not sufficient. You saw the country, yes, which I would say he didn't do a very good job at. Uh, he was in a mansion. At the White House. He was in the glare of the entire world. He could have said a little bit more about Liberia to attract investors to Liberia. He didn't do a very good job at that. And yes, selling the country, you're selling the country in return for investment. I'm not sure if there was sufficient specificity that was provided on this trip. The survey that is in question, I'm seeing clips in on other platforms where in his last State of the Nation address, he was very clear on what the Chinese found. Why didn't he say that at the White House? I'm not sure if he even remembered that that survey exists. Although today he said, it was a survey of only two counties, but that's a lot. Millennium, Cobalt, there are a lot of other things that exist in Liberia that he could have talked about. He didn't do that. He did that upon his return though, but he could have done that in the White House. I think that was a much bigger stage that he could have done that on. But hopefully, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, there will be fruits to be born out of this trip. We'll see.
Great. Let me welcome Dr. Peabody and Honorable Pewee. Good to see you guys. Dr. Peabody, the president said his job is to sell Liberia. He did that, and it is left with the international community what they want to do. Your take on his perspective?
I think, look, let me say this, even though good to see everybody, good to see all of you guys. You guys ran away from the Monrovia College, the monkeys, to show that you were so afraid. You ran away, so that's okay. The monkeys still can jump, they can still
We
fly.
just we chose the vessel to represent us.
You guys, you guys ran away.
Wait,
But
wait,
look,
I'm a monkey, so I can represent how we were dead.
we're talking about it today. We're not going anywhere.
And
4 o'clock, well, way below
we
my
can
pay
we
grade.
can we
It's
can
all right.
spring from tree to tree and we'll get a fire touching our hands. So
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Look, guys. I want to give the president a prop. You know, uh, he said he would sell Liberia. He said we believe in make America great, great. I think the president just may have misspoken on that one. But look, God, I give the president credit. When you're sitting with the most powerful man in the world, bro, look, I'm a public speaker, and sometimes I go on some occasion to speak. When you're sitting there with people who know what you're saying 5 times and you know it, intellectual, other thing, look, you better know what you're doing. Sometimes you have that phobia for some time until you really get up there. So I know he may have had a lot of things running through his mind, but yet is the most powerful Donald Trump that even NATO and all of them can say, hey, we're going to increase our part of share of security or money or whatever. There's the great Donald Trump that everybody said we got to negotiate on tariff. Some of the most powerful nation in the world, and President Walker is sitting before him. We got to give the power prop because even when Donald Trump said, well, you learn English, he said, yes, sir, because they was the most powerful man. But I think, look, let's give President Barack a prop. I think even when he got back to Liberia, he misspoke about that China during the survey, and then later on he said, "You don't know what was in the survey. They got to come back and do it." I think the president misspoke, but I think what is important is what the American ambassador mentioned here. He said that it's very important for Liberia. This is the first time in many years that Liberia have come that far to have a direct link. In fact, Nigeria, Ghana, all they were put on visa restriction. Now they're getting no more multiple entry. They're only getting 90 days single entry visa. All these countries, and for Liberia to come that far, I get it. Woman lip prop. I think woman Puaka he misspoke there. But I mean, sometimes when you sit in the table, you got guy like Steve Miller who can just decide whether they will ban all visa from Liberia. He's sitting right there looking at the old man with with a very mean face. So the old man had to be humble. In fact, Donald Trump gave her. He said, "Oh, I didn't expect it to be that. They are very nice people. They are my friends now." Because everybody was so calm. So I think the old man misspoke. I think the advisors and others did not prop him well, but I give him a prop, for beautifully speaking, with President Trump, representing Liberia. But I think the advisors did not telling because that question that generally asked really talking of God.
Yep.
It took the president of God.
Yep.
So I think the advisor need to do more. When you're meeting a president like that, what I do, I always, when I go places to speak, I always prepare my speech. I don't go there trying to speak extemporaneously. I
That's
don't
right.
do that because there are a lot of things you want to say, you can't say it. So I always have something like a guideline that I go by, and that can get my message out there. But you can't go sit down and just look at man like Trump. He's looking at you because if he has said anything wrong and not submitting himself to Trump, he would have pounded on him. You saw how he disgraced the other people. They didn't even know that they from different French speaking countries and Portuguese. He said everybody, you the only one can speak and stuff like that. So for me, I would give President Barker a prop. He misspoke in certain area, but at least Liberia got a great recognition. Liberia became one of most talked about in the last few hours. So I give the president a prop. He did well.
Great. Let me welcome my good friend Lawrence Besio. Say he's watching from PA. We have a chat room. It's all about sports. Let's talk sports. And he's one of the giants in there. I think the young man played basketball in Liberia. Uh, and I heard he was dunking on everybody in Liberia. Welcome, young man. Honorable Pewee, the president said upon his arrival, well, a friend of mine from, most of the people in the black community, they were watching, and someone said they were shocked to see President Trump's picture on T-shirts in Liberia of all places.
Oh yes, that's the society we found. I mean, that's it. Again, let me not beat on the president for that. Let me a
No, no,
wonderful,
no, not the president. I'm talking about us now, not the president.
a wonderful good evening. That's the kind of people we are. We are very kind people. We are very hospitable, and the fact that we try to again, we are Christian people. We are a God fearing people. We are Allah fearing people, if you will. So it's a combination of all, and we have freedom of religion and all those things. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is that the Liberians trying to portray that our president recently visited the White House and visited the world most powerful man and the world most powerful country. So we're trying to show some level of solidarity to this country and the president also by wearing portrait of both leaders. So the portrait you see on those t-shirts is emblematic of our kind attitude, if you will. If one were to tell you this, Liberians way of doing things. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why our country, we are happy people despite the difficult times. We one of the happiest people you find across the globe, and it's as I said initially, it's emblematic of our upbringing, if you will. So that issue that was manifested this afternoon in Liberia was in a more euphoric way, was meant to show some level of solidarity and goodwill to the American people. Because if you show kindness to your neighbor, we did talk to be kind to our neighbor and our elder, right? America is our elder, and America, in a more tremendous way, have helped our country. When people say, okay, they didn't develop, they didn't do it like the French did in Africa, leave that aside. All of our major contribution towards the country peace process, towards the country out of development initiative after the war, America spent bulk of the money that brought oil, the United Nations system in the country, even when ECOWAS were on the ground. America also did a lot more for us in terms of trying to re-engineer our coming back because we were considered a pariah state. Coming back to the Committee of Nations, America also, you remember, they sponsored the hard road. They did pay a lot of money to those. The first compared the other money we got. So we show those kind of appreciation to our friend whenever we believe they have done something or they are about to. And what the Liberians also did today, some Liberians, it's going to go a long way in determining because Americans on the ground will try to see that as an example, right? Say, hey, the people, so that can reflect. Mind you, Trump will likely see that. It may just change the trajectory of the way his approach is. So he may just come out of this. So yeah, I wouldn't beat on them for doing that. I would have done the same because we were trained to be kind to our friends, right? So what they did today was exhibiting kindness, right? And that is the kind of a tendency we portray when we are dealing with our friends. We are not evil kind of a people. We are not heartless people. We are not people that forget no, we don't do that. We're people that are very kind and we reciprocate kindness very, very
Listen,
cautiously. So
if you
and
are
it's
in
part
a
of the reason.
white guy government and you got an egg on your face, call Mr. Pewee, and he will walk you through any fire. and
No, no, no. Listen. And meanwhile, people sometimes believe that as you. Someone told me the last and say you can be a very good popular team player on Boaka team. No, listen. I criticize Boaka when necessary, and whenever I carry on some harsh criticism of the government and the president, I proffer some solution the way forward, and that's the way we should engage the politics. Then
obviously.
back to you see today I saw the former cultural ambassador. I laugh, because she can
I
turn
mean, the
she can
hustle is real. The hustle is
she
real.
can turn conversation into music. So it's not on that level, right? When she rests on, she can get me. She will put Pele, this and that, miss to go like all together. Just say something, she can turn it into music. But I saw her exhibiting part of those. These are all theatrical way of doing things and other things, but it's great also. But I don't think we should beat on the president. But again, quickly, let me land on this one. The president thought of saying he got the same vision of Trump to make America great again.
Did he use the word vision, or he said our policy aligns?
My policy vision. I mean, that is tantamount. I mean, it's the same thing he's trying to say there, right?
Okay.
So, like I agree in terms of making America great again. Everybody want to be great. And I believe sincerely in Donald Trump for that kind of a policy. That making America great again is an extraordinary policy, foreign policy prescription, or policy prescription that anyone can push, right? So Waka is trying to say, hey, we're going to copy this to make Liberia great again. Any leader that is contemplating, that believe that making the country great, got a lot of things at the back of his head. So hey, listen. To say he want to make Liberia great, I will cheer for him. I will applaud him for that. That is not a wrong thought process on the leader to believe that. The leaders should be very innovative and creative beyond that of pushing policy prescriptions, because policy making agenda is a serious issue here we need to all consider again. And so I will not beat on him. My only disappointment today, and again, we want to be kind because I started being kind today. But my only little disappointment is where the president said he will only sell it, but people will consider it. I thought, Mr. President, don't say that. Your vision, we elected you to change the problem in the country, to rescue us. If you tell them they don't want to do it, find other innovative means. Innovative means.
He said his job is done. I sold it.
Yeah, do that sell it. No, you know. But our old man and so we forgive him, right? We forgive him.
Okay. Today, Myean, Myean told us today there was something peculiar happened in Liberia today. The CNC political leader, Musa Hassan Bility, all along have publicized building the bridge breaking ground in Wapolu for major bridge construction. When they show up for the construction, the Liberian government was there with their machinery and said they are going to build the bridge, and Musa Bility should let the government do it. Send it in the backyard of Pewee. Let me start with Pewee. Pewee, you are from Lofa. All along for the past 6 weeks, we've been talking about CMC going and building bridges everywhere, building roads. And Wapolu was selected. And the press showed up. Musa Bility and machinery showed up to break ground. And the Republic of Liberia said, no, this is our project. We're going to do it. Nobody knew where they came from, whether they have a plan. They barred him from taking part, doing his thing. Pewee, you are muted.
That is totally counterproductive. If it is true, that is then it is not tantamount to making Liberia great. And then right then we come back again to hit that. That is not tantamount to making Liberia great again, or trying to make Liberia great, because Liberia have never been great. And you know, and you see, that is 90 long.
The question I'm going to ask you was Liberia ever great?
And that's why I change course quickly.
That's right.
I learned it for you know. Liberia have never been great for, but yeah, back to the realistic issue. Listen, if we have folks that are bent on trying to create opportunities for the country, we, even from the government, should allow them to move through. Now, we have elections in 3.5, almost 4 years from now. We should leave the whole thing about elections. The administration should not focus on, if that man come and do this, he would steal the show from me. No, come on. If you believe that you are on track for whatsoever thing ahead for elections, just perform the task that Brimple and gave you. That's all. That's your only responsibility. Do the job very well, and Brimple going to re-elect you, no matter what opposition say or do. But if you don't do the job, other people want to get the job done, and you try to target them, trust me, it's not going to be a good thing for them. If an attempt for now, British himself as an individual be doing some very extraordinary job in the country. If he were to come here and say he want to perform this tax, and this is a poverty alleviation tax, because to construct road is that you are trying to alleviate
And a
in a
major
bridge,
bridge,
in
yeah.
a major bridge connecting. You are removing the people from a dungeon of poverty, right? Because the audacity and the major thing here is that for you to go and relieve people from this kind of a hardship, what you've done for them is that you also improve and bring about major economic activities in that terrain. You make the place more economically viable. You bring some economic value to it and all those things. So to stop Mr. Ability and the CMC, or to stop Mr. Ability as a citizen of the country trying to move and help his people, that is not only attacking attacking the fight against poverty, but it is deliberately done to keep the people perpetually being backward, and not only backward, but to not bring some level of modernity around them. It's dangerous. It's unacceptable. It's about time that we all even push for that. And I will encourage the people. I'm not inciting them, but I will encourage the people to stand up and fight against those kind of a dangerous element that we have that are now trying to bring those kind of a thing around our country. It's bad. Shame on whosoever that did it. If it's the president, I think we should call attention to this, and he should dismiss or investigate and dismiss those government officials that are behind this. It's not about stealing the show from you. It's about helping to alleviate poverty and helping to improve the level of the people in that part of the country.
Before I go to Dr. Peabody and Nambi, let me go to the press man who was in Liberia. Myean, how did this fall? How did that whole thing happen with the press, Musa Ability, CMC, and the Liberian government? How did this happen?
So today, Mr. Peredi had this plan. It was published on Facebook, on all of the social media platform, that today he was going Bapolu Bopolu district, where he's going to do the groundbreaking ceremony. So surprisingly, where we saw some government send the government sent some equipment and also some personnel on the scene ground, where they have already planned a set up committee where the representative is coming to grace this occasion, where they are going to do just a little program there, where they're going to do like a breaking ground ceremony. And then surprisingly, someone just called and told them that, oh yeah, we saw some people from the government. They said they are going to undertake this project, so you are not going to do anything here again. So they already sent some equipment, and they did a photo and everything, send it back to the Benete Foundation. And so they say, but since the government, according to Mr. Benete, since the government have already started to carry on this project, where we have already planned then, and then today we are going to do a groundbreaking ceremony. The government wants to undertake this project. I think it is good that we give them the opportunity as the government, so that they can be able to carry on this project. But since this entire plan was made, we have not yet any response from the government that they are planning to undertake this project. But surprisingly, today the media all over, everyone broke this news, where it was published on Real TV Truth FM, where they confirmed this the issue that happened today in Bapuru County.
Mm. Mr. Nambe, this is unbelievable. How we sabotage ourselves. We would rather our people die in absolute abject poverty than live them up, than to give somebody credit if they're doing well. This is a part of money that the government could have reallocated to some other project, schools or hospital, but instead they stop the man in his tracks.
Yeah, maybe the money was already there. The money was probably already there, and we're happy that this is happening in the CMC. And you and I have expressed this on numerous occasions on different, several platforms. This is one of the things that attracted. us track them into the CMC. The CMC mantra is do now and ask tomorrow. And this is the new breed and brand of politics in Liberia. The CMC is showing to our people
So,
what is possible. And so, if by what we do, we're going to spur the government into action to finally do what it should be doing, it's a win for Liberia. We're not going to compete with the
hold on,
government. We're
man.
just
Hold on,
going
hold
to
on.
draw them out. I'm glad the press release indicated that we will do more and we will stretch the
Yeah,
government,
number.
and they will be chasing us. Let them continue to match us for project for project. Is a good thing for Liberia. This is
Why
what
are you doing this? So,
a government is supposed to do for its people. And so, I'm not really going to gloat. I'm not going to say much except to say that this is a win for our people. This is a win for Liberia. And I will continue to advise Musa Ability with the what he's able to advocate for and what he's able to do to help and address the plight of our people. I think he should go and identify more projects so the government will rush and begin to undertake those projects.
But now wait, before I go to Dr. Peabody here, is it they stop him from doing it? Are they going to do it?
Well, according to the reporting, which Maya is also confirming,
That's why Liberians are questioning the government because today when we first broke the news, Liberian was like, was there any plan made by the government to undertake this project, or they are just doing this to just stop the citizen movement for change project they are undertaking, or they just want to do it or political game where they have already strategized that whenever Mr. Bailey is about to carry on a project just to disrupt the project, like the government wants to take this project and then it's not like people were saying so many things. Librarians, others were saying that the Mr. Bailey never met with the Ministry of Public Works, neither the government to undertake this project. While others said he is a librarian, he is a representative, and he have the right to undertake a project whenever the need arises, and you have the financial aspect. I think it's necessary because it's all about Liberia. It's not about personal gain because he's not doing it within Nima where he resides as a representative, but he's also going outside in Bon County, in Bapolu, in other counties to see how best they can be able to help the Liberian people, most especially their needs.
Wow. Dr. Peabody, I just built a road in going to my village and in my own town, and it cost me about maybe $2,000 to rent the equipment, all the gas and all that. If somebody doing and what I did was just a little stuff. This man talking about major road and bridges connecting counties. And now the government is saying for you to do any project now, you have to go through the approval of the government. Ministry of this have to do this, do that. So basically, they are stopping him in his track, and the Liberian people will suffer.
I wonder if there was any public work law that he broke or anything like that. I don't know, but this sounds very, very sick to the mind. Because you have somebody who's moving, who's doing work, he's not asking the government for any assistance. Because our government right now need every help. In fact, the government alone cannot develop Liberia at this point. It requires Liberian to go in and help as well and do a lot of self-help work, personal work, that will help our country. Like you just talked about the village that you had to do some work costing thousands of dollars, and work that we do on Liberia Mission. All these villages that will go in and provide clean water and things like that. Why you want to stop a peaceful a representative who's working independently, trying to bring some relief to the desperate and dilapidated road condition in that country, that he's trying to walk and create avenues, and you're trying to fight him? I mean, this thing happen. We see this thing happening a lot in the government. When anybody that is a rising star that is coming up, they try to break you. And that's what they try to do. Like Mr. Nangwe just called about the legislature to be audited. If Musa take on that cap, they might try to even bring him and try to remove him. That's why we see regime speaker there today, all over the place, talking mess and doing nothing, stuff like that. He will not call for audit. So I think it's bad. It's wrong for the government to take that action if visibility did not honorability did not break any rules, any public work laws or zoning laws or whatever. I think it was unfair for them to come after him and stop him from doing what he's doing. But I mean, he has a challenge because he has spoken out against them, and they are going after him in different ways, going after his businesses and things like that, and all of that. I mean, I see the fight. They'll fight him. So I think it's wrong. It's totally wrong.
Pewee, from what we are hearing from Myean, the news people on the ground, the government is trying to pivot to say if you're going to do any work now, you have to get the approval of the Ministry of Public Work, or the government have to give you permit to do work. This is strange.
No, so two things here we need to get first and foremost. If that's the case, then I will agree with them from that line. Now, we just said something. If the Public Work Ministry will have to, you need to get approval from them in terms of the architectural design, one. And in terms of that, yes, you have to seek approval from the Ministry of Public Works. But to stop you from doing development for your people, that is awkward, and it's quite unfortunate if it's true. But now getting the approval in terms of the architectural designs, one. Want to know if where the road is going to be constructed is the rest side of how the construction issue should be. It's just so for some other engineering approval, if you will, right? So that you can't go and do the wrong thing. And those engineers that are building those roads, they are certified engineer, and the Ministry of Public Works should approve the plan, all those things. Yes, every society, every country whatsoever, that's why you have government, and that should be the case. But to stop, they stop this ability from going ahead to do those things, I think it is wrong. It is unacceptable. But it's not. But given you agree with me that even where you live currently, even your own house you have, if you're trying to do some, improvement of the bid deck and all of that, you have to call the city, and they will have to approve you to go ahead and do that. I don't have problem with that. We have to be very mindful. I come in 1 minute. We have to be very mindful to not be sentimental again about this. If that's the case, you have to seek approval from them. I agree you should do that. And that's a standard we should do, right? But to stop me or you or as the did to Mr. Ability, that was quite counterproductive and it's wrong. We ought to change this kind of a tendency in the country to not do that. And the reason why I've just said, what I'm saying is that the way you said and post the caution, now you have to go to them. Of course, if it is an engineering side of it, you have to go to them and they approve. That I know. Even when I'm constructing, even when we private citizens, it's that we don't go along with those kind of regulations. The municipal and zonal laws for the country is very explicit and clear. Even private citizens, we are constructing, we need the Ministry of Public Works to clear us. Before even the Ministry of Public Works, we need the Environmental Protection Agency and all those things. Do we have to do those things to clear us before we move on to do the construction?
This is how I know we talk about code enforcement. We talk about that. When the job is given to a construction company that is being certified by the government,
then I mean you're trying to politicize it. That means you're trying to wish home certain people, and that's why I say I already condemn them for what they did to Mr. Ability. I believe Mr. Ability will always follow the rules. He will, because Mr. Ability in Nimakande, he built some of the best beaches and bridges, if you will, bridges that worth hundreds of thousands, if not.
Not him. Now, I mean, people think it's not Musa building it. Musa gave the contract to build us.
So
What I'm saying,
I think the full story. You can read the full story.
He constructed a lot of bridges in Nimba, but here is the ones I was going to. Those bridges were constructed by certified Liberian construction company.
That's correct.
Certified Liberian construction company. So such a man would not just come arbitrarily and trying to engage into construction work with no certified engineer approval. No, that cannot be the case. So that's the reason. But I believe the reason why they stopped the construction in Bapu is because they're trying to go through the system and allow the system to change from the perspective the way things are going. I think it's just a kind of a perceived fear, and I thought we will have to stop and allow the country to move on. There will have to be development in the country. Government cannot do all. Trust me, if government stop everybody that government means that the 2,000 you just spent recently, it'll stop you. Then they put rest of all because they don't have the money. You see, you saw what the president just said today. President said, "They go talk. They put do it, not do like your business." So I think Mr. Nambi they come start helping to talk.
Dr. Peabody, this man have been planning the team for several months, right? You think the government, if they have problem with him, they will have said like the court enforcers do here, right? You are doing something, they will come and say, listen, let us inspect what you're doing here. Do you have your permit? Do you have this? And then they will put a stop order. 6 weeks. We've been announcing this on the radio everywhere. We've done this everywhere, and we say no. The thing is now going to be given to an engineer, a contractor. One the contractor do it, and all of a sudden, the government shows us that no, this is our project. You can't do it. They didn't say because of court. They said this is our project according to Myean. He said they said this is our project. We're going to do it.
Why couldn't they utilize somebody
Mr.
else?
Game, I send a full story. You can read a full story.
Where
Why
is it?
can't
Okay.
Yeah, DM. I even sent a Dr. P by Mr. Pewee.
why can't they send the why can't they use that money to help buy a washing machine for JFK? You know, stuff and things like that. You know, use that money to do something else with it. You already have somebody who have taken on that project. But again, you know, let me say this. Let me be maybe if there was no code and nothing wrong, then I think the government was operating on the wrong side. I mean, don't intimidate citizens like that. You know, focus on what Liberian people need right now. Focus on creating jobs. Focus on improving our healthcare. Focus on creating opportunity for Liberians, the University of Liberia, and all those kind of stuff like that. But don't go after petty things like that. It's petty, you know, very petty. You know that you're going after somebody who's trying to develop the country and do so, and that's totally unfair. You know, and I think Peabody will have a lot of challenge from even his own county because I listened to a co-guy speak in North Dakota one time that uh, uh, the next time Peabody runs, he will not even win because when he would tell people they're not to vote for Peabody and because Peabody feature people against him, it means that Peabody will not win again in the next election. Like he owns Neymar, he runs Neymar and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a lot of our people don't focus on what promote instead of promoting somebody or encouraging them when they're doing something, we try to put them down. And that's why you see in Liberia, people don't promote, they get jealous. The moment somebody see you doing something good, the next thing that comes to mind is some negative thought to say about that person. Instead of actually encouraging them, supporting them and say, hey, I'm really encouraged by what you've done and you know what you're doing. I'm encouraged and want to support you. But they don't do that. The next thing that comes, they get jealous. That's what we see a lot in Liberia. Even when Liberians leave from here and go home and want to do something, the first thing that comes to mind is some negative talk. Or do matter when you're in America 20 years, yeah, you want to, do things, stuff like that. We help them, they complain. Or, so it's our people. That's why we can't go anywhere. We don't go anywhere. We just stay where we are, because we don't encourage growth. We don't encourage people who helping to do things, giving them the support. But we always try to bring them down. We want to want to bring them down. We want to look at the negative part. And that's why we stay where we are. We're not going anywhere. The mentality of our young people is just the same, the mentality is not changing. My daughter is in Ghana now, and she tells me every day, said, Daddy, there's a whole lot. Things are different. The way that people behave, they got system, and she's in shock. I expected to see something different, even though she had a lot of experience in the local market and things like that. But she said, the people are very organized and, they're very straight in stuff in certain areas. And we don't do that. We always want to bring somebody down. Just come from America and go to Liberia and say, oh, my goal is to do this. The next thing you think about, you want to run for some loose government job that really don't have anything to offer you and stuff.
Well, Mr. Nambe, before we go to the next topic here, uh, I think Honorability has asked everybody from every county to send in their projects for approval. I have sent in mine. I think I told him that Maryland County, we were sending something for Grand Sando. Everybody was sending in stuff from what I'm seeing, it looks like my grandbrother, Dr. Peabody, it looks like my grandbrother project is dead. If this is the tactic they're going to use, that means they're putting stop to all the projects around the country, Mr. Namwe.
Yeah, I mean, this is very unfortunate. What is happening in Bapulu? I hope this is not what the government is going to do for the rest of the country. But yes, Mr. Ability has indicated that he intends the CMC would do the best to do at least a project in out of the 15 counties before 2029. And so, yeah, I had asked him to also make sure to point his laser toward the southeast and see what he can do there for my people. I believe he's going to do that. About Bapulu today, the concerns that have been raised, I read the write up. They have nothing to do with regulations. That's not what the government is claiming. The government just decided they're going to do the project. Ability to leave the project alone. And so, because he has been implementing other projects around the country, they have not raised any concerns about, the quality control or, the qualifications for whatever he's doing. So that I don't think that is the issue. I think they're just embarrassed. But I hope the people of Babel, because Mr. Ability had indicated he was going to complete that project within 6 months. So I think the people of Bapulu should give the government of Republic of Liberia 6 months. If they cannot complete the project, I think they should go and demand that the government should come and do the project. The good thing is the CMC has already requisitioned, I mean, the resources for this project. We will try to, let our people know to set them aside and not deploy them elsewhere. If we can, if we cannot, then it is unfortunate for the poor Bapulu. But if we can reserve those resources, hopefully after 6 months we can come back and ask the people if the project, has been completed. Again, we don't intend any confrontation with the government. We're just trying to help our people. And if by doing this, it's going to draw the government out to actually finally get up and exercise its own responsibility, that's a good thing.
Well, yesterday we were sort of discuss this. If you can look at this is uh, the former President Salif and President Joseph Boakai, His Excellency. And the headline to that was Ex-President Salif says Liberia is still far away from reconciliation despite what we are doing at this point. And this brings me to this story here today that our qualified newsman on the ground reported. He said UP partisans to protests against sedition being appointed by this government. Myean, talk to us a little bit about that story. The sedition in, I think they are protesting that they don't want. I mean, the UPN Unity Party are protesting that the government should not be a government of inclusion. They should not appoint anybody who is a member of another party, especially CDC.
Yes, yes. So let me come in with that development. So that exactly happens in Sano County, where our Unity Partisan made that statement. One of the strong tower of the Unity Party, where he made a statement that no one from the Coalition for Democratic Change or any opposition party should be appointed by the Unity Party because during the past regime, they never had the opportunity to be able to work in their government. So because of that, they should not accept this that unity partisans are still outside, they are jobless, and then they're allowing others from the opposition party to come in to work. I think they saw it to be something like it was not timely, and they don't want the party to accept that to be able to bring people because there are so many out there. Because of that, unity partisans are gathering together to go against this government. So as a result of that, they are calling on the party chair to see how best they cannot appoint anyone from the opposition bloc to be able to work in the government. If you are from the opposition bloc, if you are working in the government, they should dismiss you because during the past regime, they never had the opportunity to work in their government. So as a result of that, that's why they are moving all sedition or any opposition member from the other party to be able to sit down and let them run their government, let the United Partisan run their government, let them enjoy after their own term. The next party that will come on, let them be able to enjoy their own year. That's how they want the government to run, not based on the law for a country, based on what you can do for your country, not that, but what your party can do for you or what you can do for your party is what they are basing on.
Wow. So,
Jerome,
yeah.
sorry, I think we have Mr. Jones backstage.
Oh,
Oh,
let me
okay.
see. They said, where is he? I don't see him here.
No,
He's,
no one in the backstage. No one in the backstage.
Oh,
he's
Yeah, I
oh,
don't see him in the back. He said he didn't have the link. Maya, could you send Alex? He said the link he got is not working. Let me see.
I don't have a WhatsApp number, so I think you can. Someone
Okay,
I sent him a
let,
Gmail. Or,
let me do the link. Let me send you the other link.
okay. Okay. So, Doc, when the president talked about our country far is very far from being reconciled, some people in the media, supporters of the president, thought that Madam Salih were trying to rain on the president's parade, trying to discredit the old man when he was actually gaining momentum. So this particular news speaks, I would say, vindicate the former president. And this is what the story says. And this one was written by J.H. Webster Clay, July 10th, 2025. And they say here, Monroe, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf says Liberia being deeply divided despite effort by the current administration to promote reconciliation. She said, our comment follows a national event hosted by President Joseph Boakai aimed at fostering healing and unity in the country. On Saturday, July 5th, President Boakai led a high-profile event at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Monrovia, described as a moment of reflection, healing, and a renewed commitment to lasting reconciliation. The Liberia Reconciliation, Healing, and Unity Program brought together survivors of civil war and pandemics, traditional leaders, civil society groups, diplomats, women, and youth organizations and government officials. So, Doc, I think the former president, have been vindicated for those who said she was trying to rain on Joseph Boakai's parade. Our country is still deeply divided, no matter what.
Oh yeah, Mr. Gilbert, it is. I don't know why they would say President Salih is trying to uh, get in his terrain. President Salih is a self-made star. She's well known worldwide. Everywhere, Africa, Europe, and everywhere she's a star. There's nothing President Salih need to say that she's trying to. She gave President Barker this opportunity. She made him. You know, she made him vice president, and from there, that's why he gained his fame. So it's nothing to say that President Salih did not. Uh, but I mean, I think she's right. The country is still divided now. If you have a national government and that partisan are saying that if you're not in the United Party, then you're not a Liberian, then it's sad, you know, because he should be a governor of every Liberian. I mean, not everybody had to vote for him to be president before he gave them opportunity. He ran on that mantra that he will create job for all Liberians. He will become the president of all Liberians. And those are some of the stupid, excuse my language, stupid comment mentality that some of the people had. That because they didn't vote for you or past regime, they didn't have the opportunity to get jobs, so they shouldn't do it. I think it's sick. And that's why the country is so divided. People hit each other like crazy. People tell you, oh, you see, with our time, this is our time now. We're going to treat you like this. We're going to do this and stuff like that. How can you grow like that if every other African country was thinking on like that? So that's why you have very smart Liberians, professional Liberians, who the government of Liberia could probably use to really do a lot of good things. They will not use them because they are not part of United Party. So United Party, the job must not be based on merits. It will be based on partisan membership. That's why it should be based on. And I think it's sickening. That's why it's killing our country. We can utilize Liberians and qualify Liberians, and you know what's going to happen? It's going to promote President Bouaka. It's going to promote his government. But it's like, look, I saw this when I went to Liberia in March and went to watch a soccer game. You know, I saw people who were, it was like a deeply divided place. I sat at the VIP section. You know, the partisan, they were all sitting there throwing hints at other people from CDC who were there and stuff like that. And you talk about national unity, reconciliation. Yes, we have reconciliation, but we are not fully there yet. We're not fully there because in the minds of some people, because you didn't vote for them, you said things against the Unity Party, and you don't deserve to be part of the government. You don't deserve to get jobs. So President Bouaka only ran to promote Unity Party and partisan to give them jobs. And that's why Liberia was finally hot. President Selly was absolutely right. That coming. With all this going on, you know, we still are not there. We are not there even 40%. 40% we're not there. And now we talk about reconciliation. We're not even going to get there because they cut out all the money. The U.S. government have cut out everything for reconciliation. I mean, the TRC or whatever it is, War Economic Crime Court, nothing going to happen. But it's sad. It's very, very sad that you have people in Liberia thinking like that. People thinking that way. Can you imagine? So you can go to Liberia, Mr. Gilman. Now we can go to Liberia, Sylvester, with all the education. Kay can go, all the education you guys have. They're not going to give you. You got to support them. You can go there with all the best credentials. That way you have mixed priorities now. That way you have people in that government that know nothing. And that's why you see sometimes our foreign policy and other things are a mess because you have people there who can't even deliver, who don't even know. And that's why you see the misstep with the president. How he would miss a speak here, go to play, and all those things happening because people who actually know the job, they're not giving it them because they're not partisan. And that's very bad. So that keeps us divided.
Wow. Welcome, Mr. Gay. Pewee,
Thank you.
two issues here we are saying when the former president spoke about this on the about a week ago, everybody thought that she was trying to rain on the president's parade. She says we got a lot of work to do. We need to do more work. We are far away from being reconciled. And people were criticizing her, thought that she was trying to undermine the president. Now, here we are. People in Sando are protesting because the administration there is trying to hire a few folks who are members of the CDC coalition. And these folks are saying, no, this, in our system, is winner takes all. We have one. We don't need anybody else. Gay partisans, their right to work. And anybody who thought we're being reconciled, this one really hits us hard in the guts. Nobody from CDC or its coalition should work in this government, according to them. Pewee, are you there?
Yes. Yeah. So thank you again, Madam Salif. Yesterday there was some emphasis on that, and the reason why I'm in total agreement with what the president said. And the country is such that we don't want to see ourselves hitting the target or pushing the reality in some cases, unfortunately. Liberia is not yet reconciled. And the reconciliation, and one of the things I respected Prince Johnson, one thing I do respect him for, the late Prince Johnson, he said this before. He said it's not about people from Nigeria coming and will meet all the time with K-car, with E-car reconciliation. He said that's not reconciliation. He said the main thing is that we should be waiting to let him go and reconcile and move forward. And I do agree with him. I agree with him at the time on that point that all of the you keep as many as 1 million cow and go eat after eating, drinking, the problem will stay. So we have to engage the system and the way we have to do it. And it will have to come from leaders. Now, the unfortunate nonsense that you just talk about in Salo, a firm leader, strong leader will come and condemn that uprightly. And it's one of the reasons why the reconciliation process is still very tough in the country, because we believe winner should take all, right? And it's not the case. It should not be the case on normal circumstances. And what I disagree, I believe that she herself, she miserably failed when it came to reconciling, not miserably, but she failed when it came to reconciling the country. I will hope that there are other leaders will come and do and try to push it. Taylor tried to do it, but he didn't succeed in doing it. He tried to do it. He was a little realistic, but other people they were not trusting him. But he tried to do it, and he was genuine about it. Until other folks, even he brought other people. Roosevelt Johnson, they were very free of that, but they had their own motive. You know, they like have some people that will still have problems no matter what, and that's the real problem. That's what I said. We will have to begin the process. Certain people they believe they are belligerent, will all be belligerent in our country. No, we have to change that mindset and push for genuine reconciliation. So she's right about it. And push for genuine reconciliation is for us to forget about all those things and then believe that we're strong. Got one strong man here, one strong man there. No, that won't help us. Even among ourselves, we have to be very clear and honest about it. We have to be clear and honest. You have to put certain people, as you call their name in Liberian party, people, oh no, we not trust the people. So we have to stop that. We have to trust everybody, but they themselves. We have to operate and believe. And that's why we did nonsense. A foodie man called himself when he went Grand Jelly facing, I think he called, he said, I don't call it Bob Naked. I didn't know to hear his name. He said he saw people blood, he posted about those things. And he said, you know they cannot play with phone. I can't do it. You know, so and that's not reconciliation. You can't go do those things to remind us that you have done this, you have done that. Stupid nincompoop. Like on the Sunday single kind of a thing. You know, so we don't so to bring reconciliation. Those that care will have to stop talking about it. Have to stop boasting. So Madam Sali is very correct on this one. And let me be very frank to you. I will hope that this president, he started a very well initiative to reconcile our country. I will hope he continues on the path. But you have to be part of the reconciliatory process will come through from your officials, that any of your officials you sense that are trying to not do that, get rid of them. You cannot stop someone from bringing development to the people. That's not reconciliation.
Thank you.
That's not reconciliation.
Guys, we got a lot of folks on here today. Let me welcome Mr. Chuchu Alex Jones. How you doing there, young man?
That's what I couldn't
Thank
identify
you.
you. Kind of far away from your camera.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. No, I just first of all, greetings to all of you. I just wanted to comment on the president's visit and return to Liberia. I find it
Okay.
very significant
No, just hold
that
on to that thought. Just hold on to that thought 1 minute because I have Mr. Gay in queue. Mr. Gay, we
okay,
talk about reconciliation, right? Let's look at it objectively now. The pie, okay? The pie is so small that it cannot accommodate too many folks. Like the university president said, 90% of my budget goes to reoccurring expenses. I can't do anything. I got only 10% to repair the dormitory, to do this, to do that. It's almost impossible for me to do this. The pie for employment is so small that people are literally killing each other for it.
Mr. Goodman, and good evening to everyone and our follower. Look, reconciliation is not just a mere word; it's action, actually. So let me put it this way: Madam Salif government was not one-sided that we saw for the Wia and the Buakai. She tried to balance the equation to have people from every sector to be represented in her government. Yes, she did not do well in reconciliation, but you could see that her administration are kind of diverse, right? Um, Even here in the United States, the only person who got rid of 2 million people in his administration was Trump. During the first term, he got rid of most of the civil servants, like career diplomats as well. People who been into the civil service and diplomats across the globe that already understood how to get things done. That's why right now to get immigration paperwork, it takes too long because they got new hires. And they don't understand the system and the way the older people understood it. So the process is so slow and they don't even have the amount of people needed to work in that service. You don't just come to government and gut the whole place out. You try to keep the other people, especially the civil servants, in their position, people in tenure position, keep them there. Then other government position, like ministerial position or autonomous agency, fine, you can do those things. But when they have tenure position, you don't just got that whole place out. Two things you do. You can't say you want reconcile the nation and hurt the other people family packet. There are other families that were depending on that income, the revenue that coming from that area to sustain that family. Now you put them out of work, and there is no other job opportunity. So it is a counterproductive, a process
Can
if
we
you
all
operate in that way.
can we
So yeah,
all
I
mute?
said,
I'm hearing
I
some
think
noise.
that Alice, can you mute yourself?
Alex, can
Constitute.
you mute a little bit, and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when we want reconciliation, we gotta have a diverse government. Not everybody you can hire. That's true. But let people see key opposition, a political party, even if it's not that standard bearer, but people from that party, recognizing what people competent one now, not just because they're from the party, but they have to be competent in a very strategic position as well, so that people can see beyond politics, we can still see eye to eye. This notion that because your political party did not win, so you're less of a human being in the country, you can't speak against the government, or you can't even criticize or give a perspective on the specific issues, right? It is not a civilized way of conducting business. We saw the likes of Hillary Clinton went head to head with Barack Obama, but she turned out being his Secretary of State. We saw, the likes of Marco Rubio going head to head with Donald Trump today, Secretary of. I mean, sometimes you have to rise up above the field. Madam Sani hire seditions. The likes of Eugene Nangwe, the likes of Samuel Toa, they work in her government. Even appointing former President Weah as an ambassador. We saw that happening. So JMB has been in government for a very long time. To Pewee's point, he started a good path of reconciliation. But you gotta do more. You gotta go beyond just the reburial and honoring the two families and those cabinet members. But people need jobs. Like Mr. Cummings said the other day, if Liberian people are getting jobs, they will not even talk about you flying private jet, you getting armored vehicle. They will care less about those things, because guess what? Their jobs opportunity. They can afford to feed their family. They can afford to pay their children's school fee. They can afford to at least once in a while take their family out. But the country cannot be as it is. And we have not found a clear-cut way forward. The $1.8 billion thing that was signed, we don't even know what is in it. What is in the best interest of the nation?
Let me go to Jones. You've been waiting for a while.
Yeah, I'm going to close the day. What is going to be in the best interest of the nation or not? We don't even know. Nobody telling us anything. People are just speculating. People are saying, the deal is better than the $500 million. We don't know. So I'll urge this president to muster the courage and do things that will gain him, some support, so that the noise can, kind of subside a little bit, so he can focus. But they are doing so many things and doing nothing at the same time, because people are having a lot of questions that are unanswered.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Uh, the main reason I'm here today is to comment on the visit and what transpired in the president's return. And I think it's prudent for every Latino to understand that this president has made a mockery of himself. Okay, he's become the laughing stock. You come to a summit, you do not come with any agenda. You have the opportunity to present your views on whether security or economic uh, 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 discussion, and say You're there to support the domestic policy of the United States. Now, what little respect that I have for Borka, I lost everything. This man is a complete disaster. Okay, complete disaster. He's completely, you know, you've lost it. First of all, I didn't see the significance of even attending that program. Who says that when Trump or any president a week or two notice tells you to come, you need to come? Liberia should be to the place where the United States president can invite Liberian president on a one-on-one state visit. We saw it with Madam Salif. We saw it with Samuel Doe. So this is nothing new. The El Salvador president was invited to the White House. We claim all the time, oh, we have these great relations with America and so forth. But the reason why America and no American president, especially Donald Trump, would not respect Liberia because the leader we have. So that's why he can just pick up the phone and say in 1 week, no agenda, no clarity. And he sat there like a school kid. Like how when the school children go to the White House and they take picture behind the president and they sit down. It's disgraceful. And every Liberian should be all right. So we have to reach the point. There was nothing. So the accomplishment was that he can speak English. Plus, Mala Salif, in all her deals, were given the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was invited to the White House under Barack Obama. George Bush came to Liberia. And there's a time we need a president in Liberia that will command that kind of international respect. And Boga has no respect, not even from the African leaders. You talked about this asset recovery. They spent over $1 million, got offices. You talk about the war crimes code, nothing. Look at our GDP today; it's worse than what it was when we are. The inflation has gone up to double digit, 11%. So what has Borka accomplished? And we have people who go to school. Some of you guys got master's degree, got educated, and you call this progress? Where's the progress? Show me the number. Show me what has improved in Liberia under this Borka that was so much nonsense to George Weah. And the other day I heard him talking complete, nonsense. Because I think he lost it. One moment he here, one moment he there. When George Weah was president, why? Because George Weah was a young man. You were seeing all kinds of stuff, holding him accountable and calling him all kinds of names. So why? One guy is a superhuman being, the same that run in his vein. Isn't that run in my vein? The leadership is a responsible job. It's not something because you old or you young. Look at Burkina Faso. Government put and send an airplane and gave Ibrahim Traore a 4 week. Why we can't have a president for once since Salif that we can respect, that the international community can respect? You sit down to the table and they ask you to give comments. You don't talk about what Liberia needs at this point. We got a serious drug crisis in Liberia for young people. Maybe it would be a good thing to say, you know what, let's get some help in our area of drug reform and drug intervention so our young people can have a facility and they can contribute to society in terms of training. Let's talk about, management, economic management and training. Like I said, the inflation has gone up, the debt has gone up, there's no job. Now one job this government has to perform. Like you were saying, this man is completely a tribalist. There's nobody in his government that really any other opposition really said. Even in America, it's been a tradition that if a Republican is president, they will bring a Democrat to a cabinet position. Usually they depends or something. But if you say one thing about Borka there, then that's the end of your political career. I don't think I will get any career because what I can say he's the worst president in Liberian history. He's the saying he has not anything. And anybody can claim here to do that better leader, any of the previous leader need to have the head check.
Your audio
If they
is
are weak,
sounding bad.
Can you go out and come back in? You are breaking in. You are freezing. Okay. So, Pewee.
you hear me?
Yeah, Pewee, we're talking about this Unity Party saying, protesting in Sino that no sedition should be given position in this government. Is winner take all. And it's just bad. But then on the other hand, like I said, the pie is so small. I mean, we don't have enough to go around, so that's why we're having these things. Pewee,
What part?
the employment pie is so small that so everybody wants to.
Listen, I had conversation back some time ago, some years back, with I will call his name with Dr. James Colley on this thing before. He's saying that the pie is so, as he said, the pie is so small, everybody want to eat from this one part. It's not
Government job.
possible.
That's it.
So his thought process about the solution of our country is to go in a wealth creating sector.
That's correct.
Make the private sector more viable, make other areas viable, right? So that you will remove the burden from government, because government cannot absorb everybody. And the problem we have in the country now is for government to, and that's the reason even those that would be militant, foot soldiers, surrogates, protégés of president. Immediately when the president is inaugurated, he can absorb everybody. Some of them start to get, even the Daha will start to get disillusioned, right? Because the anticipation is that everybody going to get job. No, it's not going to happen. The government and the country does not have the means to even employ 100% of the young people, if you will. Now, we do have an estimated workforce of the civil servant to be around 65 to 70,000. That alone, Pastor, I had a conversation before with the former CSA boss, Mr. James Thompson, a very vibrant, very intelligent man, right? His thought about making the civil service be more productive, even at the time of trying to set different category of pay grade, different section of aid. One should have this level of qualification and do this and do that. But the big brother said one time, he said, government can do it. So the best thing to do, and I don't know if we'll get there in the next 20 years. I don't know if we can do that. I would pray that would be possible for our children generation. But this government is not going to do it. I will hope that the next government can come and be more innovative. Because yes, what I was saying, Gimme, and I listened the president in one of his political campaign. He said that 3 months after he won the election, you'll see no street peddling kids. They won't be hawking water or this and that, what have you. But 1 year, 8 months, or 6 months after he won the election, the condition of those children
getting worse.
are more deplorable. More deplorable. He said that there will be job for everybody to do. 1 year, 6 months after he won the elections, or after he got sworn in as president, the condition Liberia have turned into destitutes. They are men beggars. So the way, what I was thinking, I said that no, this old man worked with LPMC before. This old man worked with LCADP, with different cooperative. This old man worked with the Ministry of Agriculture. My inclination at the time, when he won eventually, I said probably that would be one of the way to go. I knew that he wouldn't inspire anything. That's why I didn't support him. But one of the reasons, after he won, so here, this is our president, we have to rally behind him. Maybe he'll use the innovation or all of the experience from the agricultural ministry and the Liberia Produce and Marketing Corporation, all those things. But we yet to see anything change. Give me, trust me. The $160, $65, $200, $300 they pay civil servant, it can take nobody from poverty. It don't lift nobody from poverty. It's for him to move. Some of them will struggle to even pay their kids' school fees. So it's a problem we have. And how do we remedy this situation? Trust me, I think we will have to go back into the area of the cave and begin to ask those kind of a question to see if we can get some answer from there.
Well, Pewee, before I go to Mr. Gay, I think the vice president said uh, uh, they, they, they have created a lot of statutory districts all over the country. He says that would be job opportunity for a lot of folks. So so utility power was small. Now you're gonna even get smaller because now
And quickly to that,
uh,
what they're going to do, we're going to put strain on the national budget.
of course.
What it's going to do now, it's going to take away from infrastructure development. They're going to take away from investing into food security. They're not innovative, they're not smart. And he's saying that way. They did. And now one of my comrades, my own dear brother, Ben Sanvee, posted something the last time saying that and one of our clients, they're trying to turn it into a statutory district, another administrative district, if you will, right? I think that's the Bluma or Worcester area. And I said to him, I said, hey, I wrote under his post, I said, hey, if this is meant for developmental purpose, it's good. But if it is meant for mere
Job creation.
political glorification, that's a nonsense. It's not going to impact nothing. Because here's what's going to happen. Probably, okay, so one evening, they listen to the news. The president of the Republic of Liberia made several appointments. Those appointed are Sylvester Pewee, district representative, this, this. What does that do? What would that do? What would that do for the people? I mean, so appointing people in, creating more administrative statutory districts and all those things, administrative headquarters, they're not going to appointing district commissioners, assistant commissioners. Then you say this town chief, these all, it's not going to help the country. The country will have to deploy some innovative measures. And then those sectors, those areas that God, we're going to find out what in the district. I see Kimia, he said to the legislature, he said we have a kind of a meme of mineral resources we have in the country. The Bremer forest, we have a dense forest there. Go back to that part of Zaza district and say, okay, this forest, we're going to ensure that we have some great timber company that will come and invest. And they start turning most of the timber into furniture. You create jobs in that part of the region. You start having the young people employed. The young people will get involved into different entrepreneurial skills that will also reap more benefit for them. So profitability will start to kick up. And you start building small middle class in that part of the country. That's the way to go about it, Mr. President.
That's correct. Mr. Gay, when we listen to the president of Gabon, his interest was on added value. He says we need to manufacture, we need to do things on our own. And then he warned the president of the United States. He said, Honorable Trump, on certain terms, he said, if you don't come, somebody else is going to come.
Absolutely.
Your take on that?
Look, and people were just talking about that, right? Before I address the issue with the president of Gabon, which of course I really enjoy a presentation because he came with data. Mr. Gayman, we got 4 major agencies I want to focus on right now in a short time. LTA. I want to focus on LTA. I want to focus on that post and telecommunication and that post aspect that the Liberian people have ignored for a very long time. The United States Postal Service last year alone made about 92 billion United States dollars across the nation, across the 50 states. The USPS. Why? Because logistics in terms of the postal services have gone up. Many people that don't go to a store to shop, they shop online. And all of these things, that money they're putting into the postal services. That post and telecommunication, only the telecommunication side is functioning, the post side, they're only collecting salary. They are not doing nothing. That is another arm of the government that can create revenue and create jobs at the same time. Let's look at RIA, the airport. The government is subsidizing the airport when the airport is supposed to pay for itself and add extra money to the national power. Let's look at LEC, it has been also subsidized by the government. Every year, about $40 to $41 million goes to LEC. If LEC go into business with the commercial bank and commercial bank loan them money and they can have access of electricity to the citizen, more people will have LEC services. They will start paying bill and LEC will start generating more money. But because LEC don't have the infrastructure out there for the people to have electricity, so that only very few people paying electric bill. There are vast majority of the people that pay for LEC meter. It takes them about 3 to 4 months before they can get a meter, before that line can get connected. They're not thinking. So yes, I agree with Pewee that government cannot absorb everyone, but government can invest into sectors that can also create job opportunity that will not be a liability to the government, but job creation and revenue generation. Let's look at the timber you talk about. If we have a sawmill in Liberia across 3 different counties, and that sawmill is processing the wood and giving you finished product wood, not just cutting the logs and shipping the log out, and people are working 24/7. You cannot run a sawmill with generator. You need a reliable source of electric grid with a backup generator hybrid system. The sawmill will create 24/7 operations. We saw that in Africa with Tanri. Across every region in Africa that's Tanri. There's a sawmill company that manufacture, that process wood and also burn coal. They ship the coal to France and people use the coal to heat their homes. Oh, Liberia don't know that people use regular coal to heat their homes? And we got forests sitting down? So the processed wood, the waste product of the processed wood, make iron coal. We use that phrase in Liberia all the time, iron coal. That the high forest logs that make those kind of coal. And most people in Liberia also cook with coal, right? And that coal can also be shipped outside to the European countries, and it can be used to heat their homes. Because some areas don't have natural gas for them to use natural gas service and all that. And using other oil heating is very expensive. Those of you that have oil heating system in America, you know how expensive it is. So the coal is cheaper. They put that thing into the chimney and then they heat up the house. Folks, people that we have in government are not thinking. Because more money is not generated from these different agencies that are supposed to be revenue generating arm of the government, it becomes a burden on the national power. Cut all the unnecessary benefits of our lawmakers, including executive member of the executive branch of government, and take that money and invest into agriculture. We just saw the report. $5 million were given, and guess what happened? 81 farms were being unable to identify. Those farms disappeared in thin air. They don't even exist. So, yes, we can say everybody can work in government. But what is this government doing to generate revenue from electricity, from agriculture, from our deep forest, log having sawmill? Don't just cut the log and ship the log. You should ship finished product.
Thank you.
Plywood and other different things.
Good. Pewee, let me segue into what he just said. On the front page here, it says, GAC audit uncovered mismanagement and misappropriation in the African Development Bank funded agriculture ministry. It's a big audit here. It says an audit by the General Auditing Commission, GAC, has uncovered widespread financial mismanagement and possible misappropriation in the Ministry of Agriculture's management of the Liberian Emergency Food Production Program, also known as Emergency Rice Production Offensive. And it went on to say the project was funded by the African Development Bank through a combination of loans and grants totaling $5.28 million in 2023. The audit, which covered fiscal year 2023-2024, have been submitted to both the National Legislature and the African Development Bank. Its finding raises serious concern about transparency, accountability, and the proper use of public and donor funds. During the field visit of Bong County, Bong, Wapolu, and Magibi County, GAC auditors attempted to verify 114 farms listed in the project database. However, the report states that auditors were unable to verify 81 out of 114 was bogus. Couldn't find those found due to insufficient information provided by the district agriculture officer, county agriculture coordinator, and the regional agriculture coordinator. The GAC could not verify 81 of the sample of 114 found listed on the project database due to the limited information available about the location of these farms from the district officer. The report noted. As a result, the existence of these farm lands and the implementation of the approved farming activity could not be confirmed at all. The audit also found 633,000 that were disbursed to lead farmers for onward distribution to sub-farmers. However, there was no documentation or evidence showing that the money reached the intended farmers. The GAC obtained no evidence of subsequent remittance of funds to the farmers. Pewee, this is bad. Pewee, if you are listening,
it is a very gloomy day. It will continue to get a push. Listen, so you have 33 out of 114, 33. They've managed to verify 33 farms.
That's correct.
33, and then the rest. And but this is what the government could do in this. There's the issue move and move to this report and get some material evidence and see if they can take some of these to the court. And if you were to go deep into this, you'll find out that this process was I think supervised by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, if I'm correct. So you get to understand that a lot of behind the door thing happened, wherein if this man is pretending to have a farm, that's why they would just go and say, okay, I got the farm, move to the Liberian Business Registry and register. Okay, this is my farm. This is the business documentations. So they move. Okay, somebody in the agricultural ministry says, okay, we'll come. Okay, come. Claim you have a farm. You will still give you 100,000. Or the 100,000 will give you 50, or we system will take 40. So that's the case here. That's exactly what the issue that unfolded, right? So I think this is really disturbing. And if care is not taken, how can we not create the work that we all desire to push? Because the agricultural sector is the major sector that can remove us from poverty. That's the major sector. If the African Development Bank is pumping money into the agricultural sector in the tune of $5.something million, and we squander that opportunity, and then the World Bank also pumped almost $200 million into large-scale farmers also. So we need to start receiving some updates as to where those monies went and what's the productive outcome of those money. Because if we don't see, $5 million to be, listen, given, if those folks that are really involved into proactive agricultural activities, if you pump $5 million across United States dollars across in different agricultural activities,
That's a good
trust
money.
me, the result will be very good. The results should be good. The World Bank also pumped close to $200 million into large-scale farms, right? And those issues, they say the infrastructure for some of those farmers, for their housing, for this, for that. But the report, I was speaking to one of the senators last evening, and the senator informed me that the PSC already got the report. They're trying to do some review on it, or probably maybe a year and call that the report is already in. I started going through the report myself. It's not a good report. It's not good. So that's basically what unfolded. I don't want to really just talk about it too much. Listen, somebody just went and said, okay, I got farm in Zozo district. And that's the only thing I have to say. Then my man are in the ministry. Okay, say, okay, Pewee, and you gotta find the Lord district. Where is Lord district? Okay, they go bring kind of papers. So what you gotta do, go register the farm. You move in, you go to do register, you get some, and to do that thing like, bro, just get some money. No, you know what time you have it. You move in, the men put you in the system. They say, okay, Pewee, you qualify for 300,000. All the 300,000. I mean, we at the ministry here, we're taking 100,000. And I'm happy, and I get fun.
Right?
Right? So that's the system. So the realistic farmers are not being included in this thing. They will preclude them. They preclude those people that are using their personal earned money, their hard-earned money, to engage into local farming that even live surviving on. I know some folks that are in there are very, like Mr. Thomas Givlow. Mr. Givlow is someone that before I knew he got involved into pineapple, watermelon, and all those things, curcuma, and all those other type of fruits and different kind of vegetables. He's very productive, but you only engage those kind of people. But you go for folks that don't have fun, I don't have intent to fun, but have intent to corrupt the system, and you have them, you put them together, then the country repetition will be damaged. And also quickly, there are folks that are in a very African Development Bank that are also colluding with these unscrupulous elements.
Wow.
Yes, and that's not the whole thing with Sonny Game. That's the system. So you say that's it. That's it. Game you go wrestle. Okay, I'm gonna get us in there. Go do it. And I had to do disburse those money will be disbursed in no time. Then they will find few realistic farmers and get in peanuts and to give vast of the money to those that are not engaged in active farming. So that's why the report, what the auditor general opinion is saying, is that out of 114, you have 81. That is what do I want to news quickly? That is that's a ghost farm.
That's correct.
Yeah, 81 ghost farm.
We're talking about ghost payroll now. We're talking about ghost farm.
Ghost farm, yes.
I think Alex is backstage. He's back.
Oh, okay. Guys, bring Alex back on.
Don't bring Alex back. The Papa said I shouldn't bring Alex back.
Yeah, we know he disagree with the Papa, but you can say it another way.
I forgot which country, even the European want to be invited by the President of America. Then you say you should have turned a visit down. Are you okay to say that? Come on,
Mr. Gay, let's go to our last topic here. Many people, according to the Wall Street Journal, that this visit was like a bait and switch, right? The president, the administration knew exactly what they wanted these people for, and they call it African Summit for trade and all that. But actually, what they wanted was they wanted the deportees to be going somewhere. So they bid them on the trade when they came in and they said, "Listen, we got these people we want to get rid of. They are asylum seekers. They are not Americans. We got out of them. We want to take them out of here and create a holding pen where they will be, and we decide we'll send them back and this and that, and that's what it is. So all along, those are all we always sucked in. We thought it was a thing about trade, but all along it has been about the detail. So last night the president had an interview with Rodney Sieh.
Yep, I saw that interview.
And he said, this is what they want us to do. He said, but they're not putting gun to our heads. But they told us, we need to do this. And I told them, we'll think about it. Knowing our relationship with America, when they tell you something like, bro, you can't say no. This seems to be like a done deal. Your take.
So, when Madam Sali was president, by that time, it was not at this magnitude of deportation. But there were many Liberians who also have been behind bars, close to the tune of 13,000 plus, if I can get the number right, that was supposed to be deported to Liberia. And Madam Sali made a case and said, first and foremost, we ourselves were struggling to even get ourselves together. Our country came from war, and we're just, getting our feet together, with our democracy process. So I'll plead with the United States to, reconsider our decision because we are not prepared to handle these people. Madam Sally did that. And that's why she was hesitant, when she made that statement she recently made about that same thing, right? Venezuela turned the scent off of them. Venezuela will approach in South America to take these people, and they said no, they can't accept these people. My fear here, and look, this is serious. People gotta understand, this is not a good news for Liberia. This has nothing to do with politics. We don't know these people they want to ship to Liberia. We don't know their background. They're not going to disclose their background. They're just going to say, oh, they don't have legal status to be in the U.S. Most of things, these people, most of them, Mr. Gaiman, you are aware, the first group of people that can start deporting out of the country are those that have criminal background. That's the very first group of people they try to deport. Many of these people aren't even from Liberia. That's a sad thing. They are not even Liberians. Kosovo is the first country that accepted these people. All right, a small little country in Europe, right? They accepted these people. I think South Sudan and Rwanda also, part of the discussion on the negotiations, but they are not agreed yet. But they have been told that about this situation. The name of Libya also is around there. I don't know how true it is, right? But this news, I hope our president will try his best to find some kind of way, like Bremen can say, to not accept this thing yet, because it is not a good deal for us. We already have our, group of people in Liberia who are, just infested, challenged, struggling. Government can get it off drugs. Then they're going to bring other group of people that have criminal background. Our security sector is not prepared for all of this. We already know we have our challenges in this country. I don't think this is a good idea for Liberia. I'm not happy about it, and I'm very worried. I hope it shouldn't be for money that will put the entire country at risk. Because many of these folks don't have a good background.
Pewee, it says here, according to Rodney's here, it says what the Americans are saying prior to this week's summit, prior to the week when they're not playing anything. Chatters in Washington and among citizens of the far country fear that the U.S. was inviting the far head of states in a bid to demand that they accept deportees to their respective countries. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Front Page Africa on Thursday, President Joseph Boakai explained that contrary to what people are saying, the U.S. president did not force anyone of the visiting country to accept the deportees, even though they made a demand. Here we were thinking we are onto something here. We're coming to talk about trade and investment. According to writings here, prior to this week's summit, there were chatters in Washington, D.C. and the corridors of power that they were actually bidding them in here to demand that they take these folks. This is unbelievable, Pewee. You are muted.
Eventually, if they were to push, I believe this deal going to still go through. I'm convinced about that. I think they're now discussing the ramification from our perspective to know what is it going to do for us if the government so believe that is the part of the way that you do to get this current regime attention. But I would think that we have to be a little meticulous about it, because there's just, if there's a long planning issue around this, that we will say is going to be through Congress and the rest of the team, that after this administration, this process can continue. Because if let's agree that the pool around maybe 100 to 200,000, or let's say 100,000 or 50,000, and after 3 years the D stop, how do you even get the people out? Will you integrate them? Will you integrate them into our society?
Yeah, your Lofa County population going to balloon all of a sudden. You see a lot of Mexicans and people, yellow people.
No. I'm totally taking most of them around Buchanan River says that.
Oh!
Yeah, man.
It's
so sad, man. For real.
No, when Pewee, maybe you can help me with their parable. They say when a blind man say I was chunky with right. So when black guy said they just told me, but they ain't forcing, you know exactly what's happening. Listen,
Over, man. I think I so.
Mr. Gay.
Yes, sir.
Your nephews and nieces, they may be Gonzalez.
Look,
Juan Carlos.
In all fairness, we can be here and crack joke all we want. This is not a good thing for Liberia. This is not a good thing for Liberia. We already have our circumstances with the Zoko population is over 100,000 across the country. The government is not doing anything to address these young men and women. And you're going to bring, like I said, before the country start doing mass deportation, the very first group of people that try to get out of the country are those criminals. That is the very first group of people to get out first, before they start looking at other people's cases and see how they can scale back. The very first group of people to get out of the country are those committing crime or those who already behind bars. And we can just sit here and say, okay, we don't know what kind of crime these guys committed. And some of these guys are very dangerous criminals. We don't have the security forces in our country to deal with these people. And then you're talking about the poverty rate that high. I mean, this is scary. But this has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah, but Mr. Gay, you know, some Costa and other folks are saying black guy is the darling of the United States. He's the darling of. So, do you think Trump was doing this on purpose? Bother him a little bit. Say, man, look, you all right. You speak good English. Then taking it back and say, my man, you gotta
listen. Trump put threw that line in there because JB said he loved make America great again. Policy.
That's correct.
One thing people don't understand about that mega policy is that there's a stock out there. I'm not too 100% about it, but around 2030, 35 to 2040, the white race will become a minority race in this country. So the fear is cut down visa. Enough people coming to this country overstaying that visa. Go after those who don't have proper documents. Cut the number down a little bit. Because these people coming here and having kids, even the birthright citizenship thing, they just passed a law in February. But one of the judges struck it down, but it's still in court. It's not done yet. It's still battling this thing. That, women get pregnant and come here and give birth and the children automatically obtain the U.S. citizenship. They're trying to overturn that. Trump already introduced a bill, and that bill has passed in Congress in February. So this is not a joke. You see, ICE guys are now wearing masks. People nobody know, they have no ID. So things are happening across the country, and our people, because of their money business, they're not even thinking to read through these things, Mr. Gilman. And they are just focused on money. We can generate money in Liberia if we just sit back and find ways to generate the money. Liberia got more resources compared to Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso don't even have a seacoast. It's a landlocked country that is doing so well. These people used to import onions, import tomatoes, and other things. Today, they are exporting these things from their soil. What are we going to do soon? What can we find a way to make use of our natural resources? We're going to be bootlegging all the time?
Well, listen, guys. We got another maybe 10 minutes. Let's start our closing. Mr. Pewee, before you do your closing, I want you to touch on the budget shortfall the LRA director is saying that the autonomous agencies have refused to make a donation to the budget. They failed to make their budget allotment allocation. So how is this possible? That these agencies that are supposed to be autonomous but supposed to make their contribution, he says, I think 11 out of the 15 have refused to, 11 out of 20 have refused to make their contribution. How is this possible? You are muted.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's possible because of very weak supervision on the part of the chief executive. So it's possible because there's no central coordination from the government angle, right? That wouldn't have happened when President Sully was president of Liberia. It's possible because everyone is doing their own thing in the country, and you don't have a kind of structural coordinating arm there that we try to push the system through that. Now, before every budget hearing time, there's a need to move through the cracks, and then first and foremost, the legislature, Article 34 gave the legislature the authority to conduct legislative business, right? And when the budget system is on, they will invite all of those spending entity and revenue generating entities. And we do have major, aside from those private enterprises, those SOEs, we have other ministerial institutions that are revenue generating institutions, right? So you do the hearing, you invite the spending entity first, or you invite the revenue generating entity also. Foreign affairs, you generated $5 million last budget year. What is your strength? What can we do to allow you to generate $7 million? Foreign ministry will come and say, okay, due to this and this, that, our passport, see what we want to do. We want to expand the issue of the Liberian passport in different part of the world. Now, we want to go beyond the United States of America. We want to do something in Australia, for instance. We want to do it because currently we are active in the U.S. In the U.S., we are active in New York, in Washington, D.C., the headquarters, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think we were issuing some in Georgia, and then in New York, right? So we want to expand that. Now, you say also in England, in the United Kingdom, we have one in London. So can we expand some in Manchester or Liverpool? We have some increasing the Liberian population, and we cross that across the world. And what can you do for us? That we need some money to build those mobile centers that will increase that. And you go to all the other entities, but why would these spending institutions, as you said just now, 15, 11 of them, four is probably where the money going. Now, two things may be unfolding here. Either those managing directors, head of institutions being told, collect the money and report straight to the president or certain people in government, and then you don't have to push that money to the consolidated account. Or they are bankrolling certain senior government officials or those that are very close to the president that got control, right, in the system that are keeping them on their job. So there are folks in this in Liberia that got some relationship with the president. I don't just want to call some name, but got serious influence over most of those SOEs. And so if money is not going to the consolidated account, meaning those monies being siphoned by unscrupulous people. And that's period the point. So he's right about what he's saying. But now, if someone is coordinating and taking some actions, which we will start hearing that, yeah, because all those entities, when they give to the budget, maybe all of them can raise close to $100 million, additional $100 million. Yeah, all of them combined can raise additional $100 million. They far more than that.
And the report also said, Pewee, the report also said B Mountain did not get her quarterly tax, incentive that the government collects. They didn't pay their taxes. How is that possible?
Like he's saying, they are paying it, but they are paying it directly to, they're not going through the proper channel because for the first quarter alone, first quarter of the year, to have a 17.8 million dollar shortfall in one quarter, that's unheard of. So the money, like you said, the money is going directly to the president. That is one of the Child Taylor thing where you go to white flour and get paid directly from there.
Exactly.
Going through.
That's what happening. Like you see, for instance, see the managing director of the port authority. He got a lot of influence. You see him always around the big boys, the vice president, and other people. That institution should remit some very good money to the national budget, to the consolidated account. Right? So folks were given jobs on the basis of the support they gave during the campaign. It's a payback. So when they set in those positions, they're there to reap. And they are blatantly pillaging the resources of the country with no regard to their appointing authority, because they believe that it's time to pay themselves back after they sponsor the campaign. After financing the campaign, it's a payback time. Unfortunately, folk can still appoint people if they support them or spend money during the campaign, but it's where you have them supervised so that they cannot be notoriously, or they cannot move to rank sack or vandalize the coffer of those institutions. Other than that, that's just the system going on. They'll be on blog, do this. And that's one of the reasons you're now hearing from, he said Double Jar, right?
Yeah,
Double Jar himself is saying now that the strain is on him. He alone should not be left with the responsibility to collect all of government money. Yeah, the LRA got the statutory responsibility. But having said that, there are other extended institutions of the government and that's what it's called the government. They should operate in that format, and that's why you have one man that is the most powerful person, and that's the reason why the Constitution in Article 54 and 56 is clear. It says 54, he will appoint. Only he can appoint those people, and then 56 came and say all of those that he appoint will serve at the will and pleasure of the president. The frame of the Constitution were not naive, or they were not dumbfounded. They were a very smart group of people that brought those ideas out. The reason behind that is to allow the president to be the only giant to supervise what is happening in Sunday. There's no other market element will come and do nonsense. The president will move to dismiss you. Even if the president sleeps in the morning, wake up and catch cold, some ministers should be worried. Because the president will think that the other person not operating good, the person not operating that other thing there. So that's that is the way.
Wow.
So that's it. It's very unfortunate.
Okay, you're closing.
Well, thanks for the show, guys. Good show. I just want to close by saying this. All is not lost yet. Many of these guys in government, whether you are appointed or you are elected, if you love the Liberia, you stop using the phrase "we are working in the interest of the Liberian people," unless we see that you are working in the interest of the Liberian people. Because the reason why I continue to echo this phrase is because it is way overrated. If you are working in the interest of the Liberian people, you will do things that will lessen the burden of the government and create avenues for investment into the country. You will also lure in investors to your influence from your various positions, whether you're lawmaker, you're a minister of the government, or whatnot. What is happening right now is that I don't see true patriotism from our leaders across our lawmaker, executives, from the executive mansion, all of that. None of these things are happening because if they truly love Liberia, they would do the things that will create, other avenue to help the country. Like Pewee said, the money comes and you guys get that cut. How can you take money that is intended for agriculture? Agriculture. One of the ways to generate fast income is agriculture. You talk about corn, you talk about cassava, you talk about rice, you talk about all the super fruits and vegetables and all of that different thing. Right now in Liberia, you're importing chicken feet when you're supposed to have poultry. Chicken feet, chicken eggs. You don't even have incubator. So when the chicken lay the egg for you to hatch the egg, you don't have those things in the country. These things will only come to the country and job opportunity will be created if these guys who are in office are thinking. what I believe and what I've seen so far is many of these guys who are occupying strategic government positions really don't have the expertise that people thought they had. Yes, they may have gone to school and obtained a degree. That's a different ballgame when you sit in that office to exercise that degree you have and put it into practical money-generating thing. So, what I've found so far, like the recent LSC DEA boss that they confirmed. If I were to be senator, I wrote on another a post the other day, I would have voted against him. He doesn't understand the country and the importance of our borders and how many, illegal foreigners we have in the country. He doesn't understand. Another thing I saw again from the Liberian Senate with the issue with the generator of the aviation team that went there, the guy spoke about he been in aviation for over 20 years. But he doesn't understand having a sophisticated backup system with the generator. This is appalling. You must have the understanding. Those of you lawmakers that have staffers, all the knowledge does not necessarily have to come from you. Use those staffers. Let them do the research. Let them come with the information. And then you sit there and work with them and come up with a plan. What is happening today? Yes, we can bash the president what we want, but these other guys who are collecting a fat, huge salary, and they are also milking the Liberian system. So my goal, my plea to every one of you that may come across this video or some of you watching right now, use your office and put Liberia first. Then you don't have to campaign. You'll be re-elected easily. You'll keep your job. Even when the president leaves, another president comes in, they will want to keep you because you're doing the right thing. There's short-term glory that you're enjoying right now. Look at the other people who just left office for 6 years. Many of them are packaged drying up quick. So I want to say thank you, Mr. Gaiman, and thank you for the show, and thank you for having me. And hopefully, maybe tomorrow I'll be back here. I don't know.
Are they having something tomorrow?
oh, tomorrow's Saturday. I forgot.
Monday. Pewee, take us out.
Yeah, so basically that's it. We have to move to see, we all have to do what we do to get the country going. That's what I can say tonight, man. Good night.
Thank you, guys. Good night. See you Monday. If it's 5 o'clock, it will be the closing argument. We'll be here. We'll see you. Thank you very much. God bless, guys.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep up later.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary of 12. My name is Hansen Der Represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I have a different life. When I was not president, this life that what I live, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads.
We are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Liberia TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.